I am getting like really weird vibes even talking about this right now, to be honest. Hey everyone, it's me, Emily, and today I'm going to be talking about some conspiracy theories and Mandela effects. So if you're anything like me and you like to do a lot of research and look into things on the internet or on YouTube or on Google, you can come across some pretty strange things. And I've been so obsessed with watching conspiracy theory videos and Mandela effect videos. I really wanted to do some research and kind of film my own video about things, because I did find some things that I hadn't seen in other videos before. So I'm really excited to share them with you guys. They are pretty creepy and they kind of blew my mind. So if you guys don't know what the Mandela effect is, it's basically the belief that at some point in time our universe went into an alternate reality of sorts, so that somewhere along the line we kind of just transitioned and things started to change and now people are noticing them. I'm not really sure if I believe that. I don't know, it could definitely be true. It is really odd to me that some of these things from my memory all of a sudden have changed. The most popular Mandela effect, I think, is the Berenstain Bears. A lot of people have been saying that they remember the Berenstain Bears being spelled with an E instead of an A at the end, and I actually do remember that as well. I do remember it being Berenstain, not Berenstain. So that to me is really creepy. That was the first one I heard about on the internet, and it kind of just went from there. The next one that is pretty popular is the belief that Nelson Mandela died in prison. Now, this is the reason why the effect is called the Mandela effect, because, you know, that was a really popular belief that he died in prison. And I actually have a memory, I think, of being taught, or at least seeing something on the news or on TV, that he died in prison. I could have swore he died in prison. That's always what I thought, and I didn't know that he didn't die in prison until I was researching the Mandela effect. So it was the Berenstain Bears that brought me to the Mandela effect page, and that's when I learned that Nelson Mandela did not die in prison. My mind was just like blown. Okay, so this is kind of insane. Do you guys remember the song by Queen, We Are the Champions? Yeah, so all throughout the song you can hear him singing, "We are the champions of the world," and at the end I could have swore he goes, "of the world," and it's like this big long thing, and then it like fades out. But if you go back and you look at the video of that song, or if you have the song, listen to the song, there's no "of the world" at the end of the song. So that made my heart skip a beat. Let me know if you guys remember it being at the end, because I clearly do. So I don't think this one has been talked about in a video yet, at least not any of the videos that I've seen on the Mandela effect. But do you guys know that the adult diaper company called Depends? Yeah, I remember seeing the commercials on TV. I've seen them in the store. Well, apparently they're not called Depends. They're just called Depend. What? Because I could have swore that my whole entire life, seeing the commercials on TV and just seeing them in the grocery store, that they're called Depends. How are they just called Depend? That makes no sense to me at all. Yeah. Depend. So this one was a recent discovery, and I actually didn't look it up until after I had watched this movie. But do you guys know The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown? Comes on every year on TV, usually around Halloween. I watch it every single year. I've been watching it ever since I was a child. My mom is in love with Charlie Brown. Anything Charlie Brown related, we have to watch it. I was sitting with her, I don't know if it was Halloween night or if it was a few days before Halloween, but I was sitting with her, we were watching it, and at the end I was like, oh yeah, The Great Pumpkin's gonna come out. I remember the ending. It's a great ending. Yeah, so no. No, there is no Great Pumpkin. No. I think Snoopy or someone comes out and like scares Linus. Yeah, there's no Great Pumpkin. And the whole entire time I was watching it, I was like, yeah, the Great Pumpkin's at the end. I know the ending. And when the ending came, I was like, what? I was like, no, they did show the Great Pumpkin at the end. How is that not in the movie? I don't understand. So I actually looked it up, and there's a lot of people out there who actually remember seeing the Great Pumpkin at the end. And when they watched it and it wasn't there, they were shocked. I've even researched to see if there's alternate endings, and there's not. So I'm not really sure where many people, including myself, would remember there being a Great Pumpkin at the end of the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. Okay, so this one I'm a little bit like skeptical on because I think there may be some confusion, but at the same time, I do slightly remember this as a child. So there is this Mandela effect that Pikachu used to have a black tip on his tail and now he doesn't. And when I saw the picture of him with a black tail, I was like, oh yeah, that's Pikachu. He has a black tip on his tail. But apparently he doesn't have a black tail or a black tip on his tail. That kind of freaked me out because I clearly remember that. But there is another character that came out a couple years after the original Pokemon, and his name is Pichu. I looked up pictures of him and he has a black tip on his tail. So maybe we're just getting Pikachu confused with Pichu, but something inside of me just remembers Pikachu having a black tip to his tail. So I've heard a few other people talk about this Mandela effect, and I really didn't pay much attention to it until, you know, after I heard about it. Then it kind of freaked me out. So you guys know the ramen noodle brand called Cup of Noodles? I will insert a picture here. Yeah, so that is not called Cup of Noodles, even though everyone calls it Cup of Noodles. And I could have swore on the packaging it says Cup of Noodles. That's how I always remember it, but I guess it's not. You want to know what it actually is? It's cup noodles. Yeah, cup noodles. There's no or O. It's cup noodles, literally. What? Are you serious? Like what? How? Why would someone name a product cup noodles? Alrighty, so I don't know how long this video is right now, but I'm gonna go into some conspiracy theories. I'm not gonna do too many, but I will talk about a few that interest me. If you guys want me to, I can make, you know, other videos explaining each and every one of them in more detail because they do fascinate me. I'm very fascinated with conspiracy theories and Mandela effects and just weird things about the universe. The first one, I think a lot of people, especially people from like the 70s, 60s era, probably would know this one, is the Paul is dead theory. So if you don't know what that is, it's about Paul McCartney, and he's a member of the Beatles. If you don't know that, I'm really sorry because the Beatles are amazing. I am getting like really weird vibes even talking about this right now, to be honest. I've researched this ever since I was in high school. So a lot of people believe that Paul McCartney died in 1966 in a car accident, and the band was just becoming so popular at that time that they didn't want to lose a member of their group that was really well known. So they held like a contest or audition, I guess, to have people come in and see who looked like Paul, who could sing like Paul, you know, kind of learn like Paul's habits and ways, and that they have an imposter Paul now. And there's so many videos and like pictures, you know, showing like the differences between that Paul and the new Paul apparently. And there's just like a lot of evidence in their songs that point to that. But many people do think that it's all just humorous and that the Beatles just did it to be funny. But there are a lot of people out there who do believe that Paul is actually dead and that they do have an imposter Paul who is alive today. So the next conspiracy theory that I've loved for a long time kind of goes along with the Paul is dead theory, but it's opposite. It's that Elvis Presley is still alive. So this theory came about when they were making Elvis's gravestone or his headstone. They put Elvis Aaron Presley, but they spelled Aaron with 2 A's. And if you know anything about Elvis, his middle name was just spelled with 1 A. A lot of people believe that the first A stands for alive, that it stands for Elvis Alive Aaron Presley. That's what the extra A supposedly stands for. And there have been pictures on the internet of Elvis sitting in the guest house. There was also another musician who looked a lot like Elvis, but he wore like a mask and he did sound a lot like Elvis. So a lot of people think that Elvis was tired of the limelight and he wanted to kind of escape it for a while. So he faked his own death to kind of get away from it. He had an open casket, and whenever they were viewing his body, a lot of people said that he looked like wax and that it it looked like a more younger, refreshed version of Elvis, not the big, heavy version of Elvis as we know him before he passed away. I don't know, I kind of believe that he is alive because I have seen the pictures on the internet of him many years later. They really do look exactly like him, and it kind of makes sense that he would fake his own death just to get away from the limelight and the drugs and everything that, you know, he was kind of consumed in, because I feel like he was kind of just going downhill at that time. So maybe he just needed to get out of that and to get better and just kind of end everything that he had created. I know it might sound crazy, but I'm so fascinated by it. It's crazy to just do research and look it up. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think that any of these Mandela effects or conspiracy theories are real? If you do, I want to know about it. If you did like this video, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Let me know if you want me to do any more conspiracy theory videos for you. I have a whole bunch of them. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!